Yeah. Can't you see? Ain't no nigga so again, yeah. Finish what you started, then I want to go. We go, nigga.
Lil Kee, an emerging rapper from Atlanta, had a turbulent journey in the music industry. He first gained recognition with his unique sound and connection to the streets, but things quickly took a tragic turn following the death of his older brother, Lamar. Lamar's death, combined with Lil Kee's history in the streets, would drive his career down a darker path. In the months leading up to Lamar's death in September 2020, Lil Kee had already made a name for himself with his aggressive lyrics, often dissing his rivals. He even referenced his brother's death in his music, escalating the tension between him and the Mucho Babies, a rival crew. Before Lamar's passing, Lil Kee had recorded a track with his brother, Man, which was later released and featured bold disses aimed at their enemies. The song's content suggested that Lil Kee might have been waiting outside the store where his brother was murdered, prepared to take action against their opposition. To make matters worse, Lil Kee even claimed that if God gave Mexo a second chance at life, he would still wish for his death. He stated he would repeat the events, putting the same bullets back in Mexo's head. Lamar's death only deepened the pain for Lil Kee. Police responded to their home in the early hours of September 13, 2020, only to discover that Lamar, just 23 years old, had been shot in his bed. Many believed the murder was connected to Mexo's death 2 years earlier, although rumors also suggested that Lamar had robbed a member of the Mucho Babies for $20,000. Lil Kee briefly mentioned this robbery in a 2024 song, but there was no substantial evidence to back up that claim, so it remained unconfirmed. After losing his brother, Lil Kee went silent for nearly 2 weeks, only resurfacing with a heartfelt post on Instagram, mourning Lamar's passing. He posted a video of them together, taken shortly before the tragedy. Despite his grief, he moved forward, releasing his track No Love in November 2020 and collaborating with 42 Dugg in early 2021. However, the loss clearly weighed heavily on him, and he went almost a year without releasing new music. He was arrested in March 2021 for possession of a firearm without a license, which pushed him deeper into street life. Lil Kee's first major hit came in January 2022 with the song Catch a Murder. This track became his most popular release, with over 20 million views on YouTube and over 3 million streams on Spotify. In the song, Lil Kee didn't hold back. He not only spoke about his grief from losing his brother, but also issued direct threats to the Mucho Babies. He rapped about avenging Lamar's death, expressing his indifference to how long it would take for his revenge. His lyrics, including a line about hoping someone's drug dealer would lace their pills with something fatal, left little to the imagination. In the same song, Lil Kee reflected on the night his brother was killed, recalling how gunshots came through the window, nearly hitting Lamar's young son, who was in the room. The pain of losing his brother was raw in these lines, with Lil Kee claiming that no amount of money, even $50 million, could heal the wound left by Lamar's death. While this track was a raw declaration of grief and vengeance, it was also a warning to those responsible for his brother's murder. Naturally, the Mucho Babies fired back. Lil Crank, a member of the Mucho Babies and close friend of Mexo, released a response song titled Murder She Wrote. The video featured scenes filmed in Lil Kee's own neighborhood, including the store where Mexo was killed. Crank took aim at Lil Kee, mocking his threats and questioning whether he had actually killed anyone, undermining his street credibility. This back and forth quickly escalated, with Crank referring to how Lamar died in his sleep, calling him Freddy Krueger, as a brutal reference to the violent murder. Lil Kee didn't publicly respond to Crank's disses, likely to avoid giving them more attention. Despite Crank's jabs, Lil Kee focused on his career, preparing for his first album. The album was announced with a star-studded feature list, including Lil Durk, 42 Dugg, Big 30, and even Lil Baby. The album, Letter to My Brother, was released to much success, debuting at number 20 on Apple Music's top albums and reaching 60 million streams in its first month. Lil Kee followed up with 2 music videos, one for the album's title track and another for a collaboration with Lil Baby on What You Sayin'. These releases positioned Lil Kee as a growing figure in rap, with streams that rivaled established artists in the industry. However, just as it seemed like he was on the verge of something big, his career hit another setback. Lil Baby's label, 4PF, Four Pockets Full, was designed to give emerging artists a better chance than they might have had at major labels, providing small advances and more artistic freedom. The first artist signed was Rio Rodriguez, followed by Lil Kee and other local talent. But in 2022, 4PF's public image took a significant hit when Atlanta label YSL was targeted in a RICO case, resulting in the indictment of rapper Young Thug and several of his associates. The case, which accused YSL of being a street gang involved in criminal activities, cast a shadow over Lil Baby's label. 2 days after YSL's takedown, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation leaked a list of criminal street gangs under investigation, which included 4PF. This was a major blow for Lil Baby, especially given the high-profile arrests and shootings tied to his label members. Cold-Hearted Savage, one of Baby's artists, was involved in a drive-by shooting in April 2022 that left one of his crew members dead, while Dirty Tay, another 4PF artist, was arrested in August 2022 for a shooting that injured a 3-year-old boy. The media began linking 4PF to street violence, and Lil Kee's affiliation with the label drew even more attention. In response to the growing controversy, Lil Baby restructured his label in January 2023, shifting from 4PF to a partnership with M-Town Records and rebranding it as CBFW, Can't Be With. This move led to Baby dropping several of his artists, including Lil Kee, who was left without label backing. Despite this setback, Lil Kee didn't abandon his music career. In March 2023, he released a mixtape featuring artists like ESTG, R, and NO5. The mixtape performed well, with 5 of its 11 songs hitting over 1 million views each. Despite this success, Lil Kee's career remained tied to the streets. He continued to make headlines for his controversial behavior, including Instagram live sessions where he boasted about his street activities, flaunting weapons and making threats toward his enemies. He even trolled rival Mucho Baby's members like J5, who died in a car accident in January 2023, mocking his passing in a live video.
I did wrong or right. I don't give a f about no stripes. I'm not sleeping for nothing. I heard the pussy I hit her with that stick, he come do shit. J5.
At this point, fans began to question Lil Kee's future. Despite his potential to be a star in rap, his ongoing involvement in the streets put him on a dangerous path. Many speculated that the loss of his brother was driving his actions, as Lil Kee seemed unable to let go of the anger and desire for revenge that consumed him. This tragic cycle of grief, music, and violence left fans wondering if Lil Kee would ever fully realize his potential as an artist, or if he would ultimately be consumed by the streets like many before him.